Right, but turn that down a little bit. I don't know. Here we go. Get a little dim in here. What's got it? All right. Addison Road. Here we go. Seth. Steve Mendel. DJ Jacob. Okay. DJ, Steve. Hey, guys. All right. V the Rex, the legend. All right. Let's get J-Mac in here. And we're going to get... Thank you, everybody, for showing up. Appreciate it. For hanging out. Hello, hello. Up, fo.
¿Qué pasó, hermano?
¿Qué pasó, hombre?
Going on,
Cheers,
brother, man?
sociable.
Cheers. Sociable. Got my Ricky
Julie.
drink tonight. Not Ricky, Julie.
Is that a mustard
Julie.
glass?
Julie. No,
okay.
no, it's an actual glass. With
Got some mix.
Diet
I love it.
Pepsi
I love
in
it.
it. So
Love it. Yeah, let's get the man in here.
yes, let's do this. This is very exciting. This is super exciting, man. I can't wait.
There we go.
There he is.
Hi, guys.
Chris.
How are you tonight? I'm good. What's up, J-Mac?
Living the dream, Chris. How about you?
Could be a better day, but it could be a worse day.
Well, there you go. Hopefully it'll be a better evening. So we'll try and have a good time.
Let's see how it goes. How are you, Angela?
Doing well, sir.
Good to hear.
Doing well. Yes. The temperature went up a bit, so lots of the ice melted. So it was a good drive on the way in. So, yeah.
Whereas it's dipping here. We had a couple nice days when it wasn't raining earlier this week, and today I was outside cooking our ribs for dinner, and it was like 42.
That's hot.
Yeah.
That's
Get down there.
Sorry.
That's warm for Michigan, but when you live a couple miles from the ocean, and it's been 55, 60 the past couple days, it's a drop.
Wow.
Yeah.
I dream of 60-degree weather.
Yeah, you and me both. It'll be freezing here tomorrow. It's like minus 25 Celsius, whatever.
The only thing I can suggest is move somewhere warm.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that way we can finally touch the ocean one day.
That's true.
Yeah. So, cool. Yeah, so we got quite a few people in here already, so this is awesome. Very excited. So,
can I steal the mic for a second?
Go ahead.
Yes,
I
sir.
just got off watching a live being put on by our good friend Andre of Lancaster Razorworks.
Okay.
And I wanted to get the word out there that he has put together a special set of blue and yellow towels that match the Ukraine flag that he's doing as a fundraiser for where every bit of proceeds is getting sent overseas. He's not doing it through his Etsy store. He's doing it through direct sale. So if anybody has been really itching to get their hands on one of the Lancaster Black Sheep towels, reach out, PM him. He's going to do it direct so that this way there's as little taking pieces of the pie along the way, so that this way as much money as possible can be sent over.
That's awesome. That is that right on. Heck yeah. People go check it out for sure. Yeah. That's yeah, because I mean, anything like that, if they're able to get over there and get as much every single dollar and cents that they can, heck yeah. Well done.
That's also why I know people have seen them pop up on shaves on Instagram. I did a special blue and yellow label of my tactical support scent, where I made everything, didn't charge him a penny. He lives about 2.5 hours away from me. The first set I drove out and dropped off to him. The second set he stopped here on his way back from dropping family off at JFK Airport, so that this way we didn't have to worry about adding and shipping costs and whatnot. So this way, as much money as just like this, as much money can be sent over. And this isn't something that's going over to the government to be mismanaged. He's got friends and family over there that have been running supplies and food and whatnot across the border from Poland, and it's directly going to helping people that need it instead of getting lost in oversight and mismanagement.
Perfect.
That is awesome, especially to have those connections. Heck yeah, that is so good.
Well, it's where he was born, so it's definitely something special to him to help while this is still going on.
Yeah. So you guys,
100%.
I want to see those sold out by the end of this show. Go.
There you go.
That's right. That is
Great. Get
right.
on it.
That's so awesome. Very well done. I'm happy he's doing that. Anything they can get for sure. For sure.
I need this stuff to get over quickly, and for his bosses to stop giving him extra work so I can get him to make me some more brushes. There's only so many hours in a day, and when other things that are more important taking up his time, I can't, because he makes a special brush handle that's my design that originally started with Carnivus and Richardson, and has been expanded to fit a bigger knot and works with him. Everybody saw them when we did the drop for X last year, and I wanted to do them in some other colors to match some of our other stuff. And I just have to wait and be patient until he can fit them in.
Nice.
Right on. There's only so much time in the day, I guess.
Yeah,
so
that's true. That's true. So for the people who may not know, like I said, I've only been in this game about a year and a half, so I'm still learning everybody. But this is definitely a big honor. So I've heard, since into the get-go is just about, Catie's Bubbles has always been, just right there as soap to mention. So I've always heard everything, but so this is definitely a true honor getting to meet you. So you can tell I'm a little nervous.
No need to be nervous. I'm just another jerk from Jersey.
An OG. I remember, one of the big five, from way back when I get into the hobby. So yeah, it's really cool. Really cool to see that you're still standing the test of time and still hanging with, with the soap thing, considering like how much the hobby's changed in 10
from
years,
last
right?
year.
So
yeah. So, but yeah, so your, name, of course, we know Catie's Bubbles.
Yeah. My name's Chris Cullen. Catie is actually my daughter, so I'm not a Catie, but I had a very small part in making one. And anybody who's seen the story before, I apologize if you've heard it already. But the reason it's called Catie's Bubbles is because when I was at the point where I was taking my hobby and turning it into a business, because I needed it to be able to feed itself, because all the ingredients and everything get expensive, and you need a way to funnel some money back in, even if you're doing it as a hobby. So to do it the legal way, you have to register with the state and everything. But my son's autistic, and at that point in time, so much of our world revolved around him, with early intervention and trips to doctors and surgeries and this, that, and the other thing. So to make her feel a little less left out, I named the company after her. And guys like CDB and a couple others throughout the years told me, you need to change your name, you need to rebrand. Guys aren't going to want to use a product that's named after a little girl. And while at some point in time I probably should have rebranded or come out with a second brand, I'm a stubborn jerk. And I just kept pushing forward with it, and here we are today.
I think it's perfect name. So, based on that premise,
hey,
I wouldn't change it either.
Whenever anybody gives me crap about it now, I say, hey, there's nothing wrong about a father's love for his kid, and that's what the name comes 100%. Down to.
That's right. And as a girl dad, I have two daughters myself. Well done on behalf of all girl dads out there. Yes, very honorable.
Thank you.
So she actually identifies herself as the Catie of Catie's Bubbles, right? I remember hearing that on the interview before.
She doesn't do it quite as much now because she's trying to be her own ornery little teenage self. But for quite a period of time, that was her calling card.
That's so cool. That is so cool. Questions we got. This is one that because I love the labels. So where do you get inspiration for the label art and the scents? Do you do, like I've heard some artisans say they do the label art first and then the scent to match, or vice versa, or?
Generally, the scent comes first.
Okay.
And most of the time, it's a conversation with somebody in the hobby that leads to the creation of the scent. And then, like if you look at right behind your head, Retreat. Anybody who's familiar with the idea of synesthesia, that label art is what's inside my head smelling the scent. That scent, that picture is a visual presentation of the scent.
Yes, I get that.
Some of them, like Pine Barrens, is pretty simple and straightforward. The background picture is a picture of a trail out in the pines. The Royal Garden, which it looks like is behind you over to the side, that's based on an old-fashioned Creed scent called Windsor. I don't make that one anymore. What you guys have left is probably the last few jars that are on the planet that aren't used.
Oh.
But that was based on a scent that was originally created for King Edward before he abdicated the throne by the House of Creed, and that is the Rose Garden at one of the British royal family's castles. That's what the background on the label is.
I didn't even know they made. I didn't even know
Creed
made a scent.
It's called Windsor.
I never heard of that one. I never heard that. Wow.
It was slightly modified and reintroduced in the past decade as Royal Mayfair, but the original release of the scent was called Windsor, and it was a little bit more brash than what's currently being sold as Royal Mayfair.
Okay, I've heard.
This is the only one here.
Then. Okay, so
then that's the last jar. Somebody buy it before it's gone.
It is right here.
You are holding a jar of unatonium in your hand right now. The question is it going home with you tonight?
We shall see.
Right.
Chris, ring him up.
The reason it's going away is because I've been getting away from dupes. Flat out, straight and simple. I didn't spend so much time teaching myself the basics of perfumery to keep replicating the work of others. I'd rather put my own work out there.
Right.
Yeah,
when it finally
that's
comes,
totally fair. And there is something.
No, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. We talk about all the time. Like there's just something like dupes are great. Like everybody likes dupes, but there's just something about like a scent that an artisan puts their heart and soul into, and it comes from within or comes from somewhere when and then they release that out to the world and everybody gets their hands on it, like, oh my God, this is so amazing. Like that just there's just something really awesome, like, for lack of a better word, like
where
that, right?
For me, as I said, I've invested so much time into perfumery. Hearing people praise somebody for recreating somebody else's work comes off a little disingenuous to me.
Yeah, that's fair, for sure.
And what's in your 100%. Hand now is actually where I live.
This. Yeah.
Just a couple blocks down the street is the edge of the Pinelands National Wildlife Reserve.
Really?
I live in a very small strip of sand between the water and the New Jersey Pine Barrens.
So if I smell this, I'm smelling.
If you smell that and you go down to the forest here and go for a walk, that's what you're going to smell.
Wow. That is beautiful.
Add that to the cart too, Angela.
I'm an easy.
Yeah, and you
pile them up. All right. Well, I got a question for you. A favorite vintage razor? Do you have a favorite vintage razor? Single edge, straight?
Most of what I use is vintage razors, because what agrees best with my skin are the old spined SEs, the Gem Eveready We all know the blades that look like the ones that nowadays you just put in a carpet scraper. But
Yes, yeah.
the shave that I had this afternoon to make sure that I was pretty for everybody was with an open comb Damascene. That may be my favorite of the to use of the old school razors. Visually, I'd say that the chrome plated single edge, which most people would refer to as the streamline, visually is my favorite to look at. But my favorite to use are the old Damascenes, either the open comb when I had a week of growth like I did today, or the closed comb when I've got 3-4 days.
Nice. Yeah, those blades, man, they will chew
Yes, they
through
will.
some serious
And
growth.
it even comes, well, somehow I had so much yuck that I managed to clog an open comb, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles.
Wow.
Now, sticking to
That's
vintage. Now, do you have a favorite vintage aftershave?
Ooh.
Out of what I've got here, granted it's been around for 100 years, but most people probably wouldn't call it a vintage aftershave. But the traditional Colonia from Acqua di Parma. Also, what I
Classic.
used,
That's a good
what I
one.
used
That is
today,
a
the old
really
Collection Barbier shave soap from soft shave soap as they put it on the package from ADP. Today was just a really good shave. It's one of those days where I just
nice.
to try to get over all the crap that was going on in the outside world and just focus myself and have a good mental prep for what was coming later in the day, so this way I could be here and happy and smiley for you guys.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of it, right? Something as simple as a shave can be so transformative, so mood altering, which is, let's be honest, that's probably the main reason about 99.9% of us
I've
do
actually
it, I think.
found that now that's the case. A couple of years ago, it seemed more people were getting into this because they were having so much trouble not chewing their faces up with what was available modernly. 5-6 years ago, you had a lot of people coming into the hobby because they had sensitive skin, or they just couldn't do anything that didn't leave their faces raw or bleeding from using a multi-bladed razor.
Yeah.
Where it seems that
It's true.
lately it's a little bit more of the excessiveness and opulence that is on the higher end of the spectrum seems to be drawing a few more people to it.
But and I think a big part of that too is people like you that pioneered like the artisan shave soaps too, right? So I mean, Williams and all that stuff, it's great, it works, the wolf that, it's all good, it works, but it's when you can really tailor a shave with a scent that you're really dying for, which we have to thank the artisans for bringing that to the forefront. That's, I think, yeah, really that's probably where the transformation started, when that really started picking up and taking off.
There were artisans that existed long before us that you had mentioned the big five, but you go back before we were here, you had Queen Charlotte Soaps and St. Charles Save that had been that aren't around anymore, but they laid the groundwork for us to be able to come in and actually take everything and expand it.
Right, and it's funny because I don't even remember them. I just remember like the big five it's really all I can remember from back when I got in. I've been in for just about 9 years
Do you
now.
participate
So
on
yeah,
Badger and Blade at all?
I used to.
Do you remember them
I
running
used
auctions
to.
for St. Sue? St. Sue was the
Yes.
lady who
Yep.
created St. Charles Shave. Unfortunately, she passed from cancer quite a while back.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. I did. Yeah. I never seen any reference to her in St. Charles Soap. I remember the fundraisers and the
She
brushes because I have one of them. I have
she and what she
one of the
stood
Badger and Blade.
for in fighting to be alive became a bigger deal than the company she ran.
Right. which is fair. So that's ultimately that's the most important thing
for
at the end
sure.
of the day, right?
And
So
then for it to take it, be able to have something like that, and then again, I mean, for the community to come through and do stuff like that, that's awesome. Just like we
And
do
that's
for our sister Kim Gray. We just
that's
try.
one of the wonderful things about this community. So many of us have been involved in so many different things, raising money for those that need it, and it's whether it's Ukraine, whether it was when somebody got sick, or when the son of the Seiberts, the family that owns Soap Commander, got into that car accident. We've raised a whole bunch of money for them so that they could shut down for a couple months to get him back on his feet because he lost his sight. Or when I don't know if you guys, J-Mac might remember him. He's way before your time, but
Right.
there used to be a guy that went by the Clean Shaver. His name is Scott Ostermiller. His son Noah had Prader-Willi syndrome, and I
yes,
did 3 different soaps over the course of 3 years to raise money for research for that.
you did. You did.
I did
You did
S'more.
S'mores for him. Was
There
one
was
of them.
S'more Love for Noah. The little boy's name was Noah. S'more
S'more
Love for
Love.
Noah.
No, that's right.
Noah Larange, and Very Good Noah.
Right.
And
Those are the 3. Yes.
and
I do remember those. Yeah.
forget whatever it cost me to make them. Forget the amount of money that the credit card companies charges processing and shipping and whatnot. Whatever I sold those products for at dollar value, I took half of that and I gave it right over to them.
Nice. And that's our community in a nutshell, right? Like nobody left behind. If somebody's down and out, then it's 20 people to help pick them up, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah. That's why anything that to be able to be involved in, to be able to help, like I mentioned, Kim, Taylor, Alejandro. I mean, all these people. I mean, even if it's just people in general that are in the community.
Taylor Alejandro, the day that he reached out to me and said, my scan came back clean, I don't have cancer anymore, I put a bottle of Lancaster leather in the mail to him so that he could make himself sell good to celebrate.
That is a nice scent, man. Well
nice.
done on that. That is a beautiful leather, by the way.
It's so much more than just leather, but my love of alliteration and the fact that it was originally designed for a meetup that was supposed to happen in Lancaster kind of took over the naming, but with the fruit and the woods and everything, there's a lot more going on than just leather.
Yeah, I've had my nose to that one. I don't think he has one left here, but I think before it was gone, I managed to smell it on the shelf, and I hit myself for not buying it when it was here, but it was sold a lot. So
I can always make him more. We just need to get Jason to place an order.
There you go. He's got it.
Just give him a little elbow nudge.
Yeah. It just because he's not that that's sold already. So.
Although that one there, I should probably think about moving it over into the new soap base if I'm going to keep it.
New soap base.
Yeah, the one that dropped in November with X and V.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
you guys don't have it.
Miss, no, it's gone. Sold out of it. There's 2 of these left. Yeah,
that's some good smelling stuff.
Gone. So this is all that's left. There's 2 of these left here. So that's a beautiful bottle, by the way. Beautiful scent.
Thank you. I see. Hold on. Wait a second.
Questions?
I see him down there. Yo, Stacks, what it do?
What it do?
Love him.
Any questions from the audience?
Yeah, let me see what we
Angelo?
got here. Brandon Shaves. Chris, most favorite hardcore brand?
Brand or band?
Band. I'm sorry. Band. I was
okay.
Going, how can a band be hardcore? But most favorite hardcore band, he said.
My favorite band is Shai Hulud. Most people would categorize them into hardcore. Some people would claim that they're the band that started the metalcore movement. But Shai Hulud, they're originally from Florida. Then they moved their basis up to Poughkeepsie, New York, and now Matt lives in Jersey and basically just plays a show around here every now and then. I got to see them last month, and 25 years after I started watching them, it's still a wonderful, wonderful time.
That's awesome. Especially if they became local for you. That's
Sweet.
cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Art Shaves 01. Oh, this is a cool one. Have you thought about mixing V and X and calling it five and dime? That is sweet. Well done, Art.
Well, that's where you buy a tub of each and you use your scraper to pull a little of each and put it together. So this way you can find what's the right balance of five and dime for you.
That's a
Yes.
sale
Love it.
right there.
Love it.
Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah, the only time I've ever done a split tub was when I did Horizon with Chad from Talbot, which the way he let me have my fun with it. I designed the scent as two separate parts that worked together. One was the top notes, one was the bottom notes, and we actually in the tub, his soap base was in there with the bottom end. My soap base was in there with the top end, and then we had two different aftershave bottles, one with the top end, one with the bottom end. So you could play around and do however you wanted to do that. And strange little thing that is inspired by a metalcore band as well.
Really?
Yes, Horizon is my second favorite album from Parkway Drive. And on their fourth studio album, there's a song where he talks about the sky and the sea and how they're separated and they're kept apart from each other, and that was the idea of building the upper notes and the bottom notes and keeping them apart but letting people put them together.
That's
cool. That's really cool.
Chris, if you can send me a link to that from YouTube or something. I want to listen to that.
What, the song?
Yeah. Or
Parkway Drive. Well, the song that gave me the idea about splitting the thing is called The Blue and the Gray.
Got it. That's so awesome. I got to look that up. I'm always down to listen to new music for myself. Okay. Kathleen, Rising Emu. This is real good. Is your son able to participate / verbalize what he would like in a soap?
My son?
Yes.
It's a fight with him to get him to use soap. He's another stinky 13-year-old. He is autistic. He's very, very high functioning. He's smarter than I am.
Okay.
He is ridiculously intelligent. He's a bit awkward, but then again, aren't we all?
True.
But where he's at now compared to our fears years ago, we were worried about nothing in comparison.
Nice. Yes.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah,
That's
I have
really good.
a friend of mine. Their son is nonverbal, and
no, he's in 8th grade. He's in honors math. He's in honors STEM. He's ridiculously smart. As I said, he's about as odd as most 13-year-old boys are.
So perfectly normal.
Yep.
Yeah,
Nice.
my friends, their son, I see them, all the time, and like I said, their son is nonverbal, and I've seen him for about over a year and a half now, and I saw them at the grocery store this past weekend, and he's always kind of kept distance from me, at least a couple feet or whatever, because just getting to know me or whatever, but he finally came up to me and he gave me like a big hug and put his head on my shoulder. So, to me,
he jumped straight past the fist bump and went right for the hug. That's cool.
Yeah, and he that was probably one of the most heartwarming moments that I've had in a very long time for something like that. And he said his parents, my friends, were like, he's never really done that to many people, just very few in between, even their own family. and I guess you just felt, comfortable enough to do that. So it was just a very big honor. And if anybody out there, I mean, it's just anybody that has any family or anything like that that's autistic or on the spectrum at all, it's to me, I look at them as just other people, just same other people, and yeah, it's just the beauty that you get from people like that is just awesome. So
I think Carlos has got a good idea. When we all bump into you in June, we're all going to give you a hug.
I welcome it. I'm a good hugger. So I mean, I may be at like you guys' kneecaps, but I'm a good hugger.
Oh, come on. You can't be that short.
5'2".
Okay. It's only 10 inches shorter than me.
Okay.
You're only a foot shorter than me.
I love it.
You'll be fine.
I love it. I know people are waiting to see me stand next to Peter Chikalis, I heard. So.
Well, at least you'll be taller than somebody.
That's what. Yeah. Besides my mom is 4'11". Carlitos, he wants to know, Chris, are you going to come to the Maggards meetup in Adrian this June?
I paid for my ticket 3 years ago.
Yes. So I will definitely be seeing you for sure. Yes.
Yeah. I have a feeling I was one of the first that Brad emailed to let me know that it was finally going down this year. My wife and Casey have become pretty good friends, and they've been
cool.
Looking forward to getting together again. Although I don't know if she's going to come with me. But letting the two of them loose in a casino in Connecticut, it's not a good idea.
That's going to expensive night.
Oh man. Okay, Thomas the Shaver. Chris, you've been in the hobby for a while. What's changed the most since you began as an artisan? Very good
question.
So much has changed. As with any hobby, there's always the roller coaster involved. Things pick up, they slow down. They pick up, they slow down. There's highs, there's lows. You've got so many more options now than there ever were. Things have gotten more expensive just because of the cost of getting everything here and then made and then shipped back out. But you want a specific brush, you want a specific way a soap smells, looks, you've got it available to you. Where 10 years ago, pickings were slim. If you wanted something that smelled like Arco, you got Arco. You wanted something that didn't smell like Arco, you got Arco.
True.
I do miss the days where I couldn't keep LPV in stock, and I'd be making soap 5 nights a week, and as quick as I could clean the jars was how quick they were selling. But the downside of more options is that the pie is only so big, and there's so many more people taking a slice of it.
Yeah, that's very true. I still remember when LPV came out. People lost their minds for LPV.
What?
Such a good scent.
What is LPV? Like I said, I'm new, so.
Le Piment de la Vie. It translates to English as the spice of life. It is a spice-driven scent. It's warm. It's sweet. But you've got that clove, ginger, nutmeg across and cinnamon across the middle, which make it so unique to itself. However, it also causes its own problems because what is probably the most reactive to somebody with sensitive skin? Cinnamon.
Cinnamon.
Yep.
Yeah. It's a killer scent, Angelo. I know you like spicy stuff.
But
So good.
yeah,
So good.
that scent came out on the market in February of 2014, and here in February of 2023, it's still my bestseller.
This is Jason's own personal tub that he uses. If he has to shave here, this is what he uses. And he said it is his wife's favorite scent on
That's
him.
LP. I can't even
So
read it with
when
glasses.
he used
LP.
this, yeah, Miss Jason's
Smell
very
it.
happy.
Now give it a whiff. Come on, I want to see the face.
Okay.
Give it a
I
sniff.
want to see
You
the
ever smell
face.
it, Angelo? This your first sniff? Yeah, go upstairs.
So, oh my gosh,
What did I tell you?
I've never been to Paris. Oh,
I saw it pop up down here from somebody. I don't want to touch the screen because I know I'm good at screwing things up. But somebody said, why all the French names? When I was launching LPV and some other scents at that time, I had just come out with a soap base that was inspired by traditional Savon de Marseille. So I called it a French style soap. And to go along with the motif, I used the power of Google Translate and came up with French names for all the soaps that were going into that French style base, and it's just stuck around.
oh man.
LMR was another banger too. Le Marche, Le
Which was
Rassage. Oh,
actually started off as
that was
a
so
group
good.
soap for a Facebook group because Le Marché du Rassage is the shave market, or the market of shaving,
Oh, right.
if you actually want to do a direct translation. But
Right.
yeah, the shave market on Facebook is where the Le Marché du Rassage started.
Right. That one's so
You guys,
good too. Oh,
I'm just gonna
so good.
no.
Just a kill.
No.
You all right, Angelo? You're still
No, he's
huffing
not all
this.
right.
I'm in a whole other dimension, guys.
I told you that's a
Wow.
banger. I wouldn't
You're
lie
still
to you.
making this, right?
That's a good one.
Yes.
His
Put me down.
bestseller.
Give me. I need two. Wow. Very well done, sir. Very well done. Now, if I remember correctly, oof, this one was one of your favorites, right, Chris?
I do enjoy using that one, yes. That's one of those scents that because of the story behind it, which I really don't like to share, I just keep making even if it, no matter what.
Yeah, I get the mint.
But this is not the time of the year for that one. That is a great shave after you've been outside doing yard work and you're just dripping with sweat and you're overheated. It's soft, it's sweet, it's got that little bit of cooling from the peppermint, it's got that little bit of camphousness from the eucalyptus in there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is that waterlyptus?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
I can't.
Yeah.
I don't have glasses on, so I can't read the label. But just no, it's fine. No, it's fine. Just I'm kind of testing myself too. When he said eucalyptus, like,
But no,
oh yeah,
I would use this
waterlyptus. I know that.
now because it's so overcast and dreary outside. But yeah, this is a pick me up. Speaking of dreary, this one here is very nice. This one here.
That's one of the last dupes hanging on, and I am scared. Pardon my French. I'm scared shitless to try to discontinue that one.
Yeah.
Because that is my second bestseller, and it's a dupe of Tom Ford's Black Orchid. And as I said, I want to get rid of any dupes in my lineup, but I'm afraid that I'll actually get death threats when I go to take the axe to that one.
Yeah, that's tough. Tough to axe your second bestseller, right?
So yeah, I like money because it feeds my kids and it pays the power bill. So we're gonna roll with it for a bit.
It's probably the prudent thing to do.
People are telling me to smell this one.
322? I love 322. That soap started off as a joke.
Really?
Yes. I was working on creating a scent for the Northeast meetup back in, I want to say 2015. And and I was working on making Connecticut shade for it. And you're new, you may not remember him. I know J-Mac remembers him. Ruds was running the meetup, and Ruds gave me a hard time that the initial draft of Connecticut shade was not masculine enough. So in my head, I said, what could be the weirdest, most off-putting scent combo I could throw together? And I threw together oak moss, vetiver, black currant, and a very sweet medium grade patchouli. And I sent it off to Ruds as a joke, and he's like, this is the greatest thing since sliced bread. And Chad from Talbot will tell you, anybody who asks, that that is the greatest scent ever made.
Mm.
I never smelled it, but Angela, you tell me. What's the smell?
Yeah, I mean, I get I get the vetiver for sure. Yeah, and I love
me some
true
vetiver.
good vetiver.
Must be what,
Yeah,
a bit of tart sweetness from the black currant then.
The bergamot.
Not a drop of bergamot in there. It is literally 4 scent ingredients. And I just named them all. Patchouli, oak moss, vetiver, currant.
Currant. I'm sorry, currant. My brain is still... Yeah.
He's still over in LPV land.
Yes. J-Mac.
I'm just, even from soaps and stuff, sounds like a great scent to me. It sounds like banger scent ingredients, right?
But it was, I was trying to create the most manly thing that I could come up with out of the back of my head with what I had on hand, and it turned into that. And then the story expanded to it's the unofficial scent of a secret society that could make sure that I disappeared off the face of the earth without a trace with one phone call.
Sounds legit to me.
Yeah.
Well,
J-Mac,
322 and the Skull and Bones logo is from Skull and Bones, the secret society at Yale.
Yep. J-Mac, you don't have this one?
No.
You're going to have it. I'm getting this for you.
Oh, you don't do that.
Oh, no. It's done. It's done.
I'll take it. Thank you, sir. There you go.
Maybe not this one, because I'm going to... But there's more. There's one right there. That's yours.
Well, thank you very much. Brother. Appreciate it.
You're going to love this. This is you written all over it. And we have the same kind of tastes. Yes. So, for sure.
Someone asked what happened to Ruds. Ruds got very busy with work, and he found that he liked spending his free time on family and things he enjoyed in reality instead of making videos. So
which is totally fair.
He hasn't decided to invest the time back into to going online.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. Like, I mean, I'm online all the time, right? And it's time commitment. Luckily, I'm afforded the time to do it, which is great. But yeah, I mean, like when you're busy and trying to make time for it, it's a challenge for sure.
I also saw somebody ask about purple grapefruit and the balance of lavender to grapefruit, because that's literally it. 2 ingredients, lavender and grapefruit. To the nose, the lavender wins. When I'm pouring into the bowl where I'm mixing the soap, a lot more grapefruit goes in than lavender.
Interesting.
I had somebody ask me before, and I've seen this, and I've seen Greg Tardif do a video, and I've been wanting this ever since Saturday morning.
It's your favorite fruity cereal in a bowl.
Yeah. And I love like gourmands and stuff, and so does Crystal. And probably my girls will steal it if I was to get it. But yeah, so people had asked me that they said they've seen some on like certain places, like eBay or something, that people were selling it for like $100 a tub.
That's ridiculous because it's on my shelf for $14.
Right. It's eBay. So
Fooling their money. Fooling their money.
I know. And there was
easily pardoned.
Yep.
A grape soda one as well.
Knee high to a grape.
Yeah, knee high to a great. That's a good one. I had to sample that one. That was a really good scent. It's grape soda to a T.
Really?
It's one of those things where people ask me to make an aftershave for it, and I tell them if they really want to smell like it all day, just have a hole in their lip while they're drinking a drink from the can.
Fair enough. Definitely fair enough. All right, so since we're talking about some of your best scents, have you ever done a scent that just, no matter what you've done with it, no matter what you tried your hardest, it just didn't work? You couldn't get it to where you want it to be.
I've thrown out a bunch of stuff, but no matter what, there's always a way to pivot and turn and reevaluate what you're doing, if you actually want to put the effort into it, to make it a successful set.
Awesome, great answer. See, I tried to throw you a bit of a curveball there and knocked it out of the park. So
Yeah.
I got nothing, Angelo. It's your turn. You gotta.
No, you're good.
Gotta throw him a curveball.
Yeah. No, because I'm still over there.
His nose is still in that jar of LPV.
Yeah.
He's going home with that for
You
sure.
saw that. So I've asked this, a couple times, and I always like to hear people's answers. What inspires you when you're going to work on it? This is not something that was commissioned. So when you're going to create something that's original, like your own, which is what's bravo, for doing that. But so do you get into a certain zone or anything? I know we talked about music a bit, but do you pregame or anything like that? So when you want to get into the creative state, so what is that? Do you have that kind of process? And then...
I can't force myself into a creative state. It just doesn't work. I wish it did, but it doesn't. I either wind up drawing inspiration from, as I said earlier, conversation with somebody in the hobby, or stuff like Retreat started as a group soap. LMR started as a group soap. Cape Cod Cranberry behind you, Chad from Talbot, before Talbot ever existed, he asked me to make that because his favorite place in the world is to go down to the cranberry bogs in Cape Cod. And he wanted a scent that represented that. But almost I don't do a good job of drawing inspiration from within, but I do a good job of listening and drawing inspiration from outside. So I can go on a very, very long dry spell, and then something will click, and then gears start turning because of a conversation that I had or something I encountered in reality, or a conversation I see other people having in a Facebook group or a Discord chat or whatever. I do a lot of watching, a lot of listening. I don't do as much projecting myself into it as I probably should, but that's part of being an introvert.
I think a lot of artists are like that. You can never force yourself into doing anything creative, because if you do, it just ends up a hot mess. It's just has to come from somewhere, like I said, like a conversation, or from within, or from some outside influence, and it just has to happen, right? But if you sit down and just try and force it, it's never gonna work. It's just not gonna happen.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I like, because it's with this one, for an example, this is your home, so you got inspiration right there. This is the environment that you're in, and then you're able to share that with people and nail it. So that's.
But I didn't.
Awesome.
I didn't even get the idea to throw it together as a soap until a friend of mine. This is going back quite a few years. Was ranting and raving about how this one bar soap that Crabtree and Evelyn was putting out smelled like walking through a pine forest. Ding, ding, ding. Ooh, walking through a pine forest in the soap scent. There we are.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, and the Pine Barrens is very well known. So
And,
yeah,
perfect.
And as I said before, it's home.
Yeah.
Exactly. So we're a couple months into 2023 now. So anything big going on for Catie's Bubbles here in 2023 that you can divulge to the audience?
I've got some sense in different stages of testing. I actually was asked by a certain group that was unfortunately not TRC to develop 5 cents for them, and we will see what the heck happens with that, because they've been quiet now for well over a month. And if they continue to be quiet, I may just have to slightly tweak something and release it.
That's fair.
See how she rolls, though.
As I said, I need Andre to get things to come to the point where he actually schedule free time, because I want to do. The brush design started with Carnivus and Richardson, and then he tweaked it to fit the knots that he uses, and I really like the larger size handle that we came up with together, and we did that in the colors that match the X label. I want to bring out a couple of those that match other scents that I've done over the years, but I need him to do the free time, have the free time to do that, because I'm 10 left thumbs. I can't do creative things with my hands that actually require fine motor skills. So I can just have the idea come out as verbal diarrhea to him, but I need him to actually fine tune it, because if I tried to do it, it would look like something that we drew in kindergarten.
It's probably about how my brushes would turn out too if I was turning brushes. I have a feeling.
Yeah, I couldn't. I'm sorry.
I couldn't either.
Certain talent to be able to do that. So just like your talent to be able to make soap.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, my talent isn't so much being able to make soap as it is to have a basic understanding of organic chemistry, and I'm pretty good at math, and that comes together both in the soap making and in the perfumery aspect of it. Because it's not like I have a good nose. My nose is half clogged half the time, and when it's not clogged, it's running. I can't smell things well at all, but I can do math in my head, and I can say, hey, this, that, and the other thing. All of my scents start as me writing a spreadsheet and listing out ingredients that should work together, and then fine-tuning it from there with the help of others.
Well, damn, you've really figured it out. Your scents are awesome. So, yeah, the fact that you're kind of creating them in a spreadsheet, not even really smelling them, is, that's impressive.
I've got buckets and buckets and an entire, what should be a china cabinet full of ingredients. So I've smelled the ingredients, but I'm not one of those people that can walk into Macy's and have them spray a bottle and sit there and just pick out all the ingredients as you're standing there sniffing it.
Right.
My nose doesn't work like that. It just comes as one big blah into my nose. But when it comes to creating scent, I can say I know what cashmere is, and I know what it does. I know what labdanum is, and I know how it interacts with this, that, and the other thing, because I've played with them before. And I can make a very educated guess as to where everything starts, and then with just some minor tweaking, it's going to make people smile.
Awesome.
Great.
And it makes people smile, 100%. And Angel's still smiling.
Yeah. I'm lost, man. Wow. Let me see what Art Shays wanted to ask. Chris, how far are you from where that tornado touched down?
A tornado touchdown? Win.
I mean, that would be far enough.
That would be far enough, because if we're talking last year, there was a tornado that ripped through the pines about 20 miles south of me last year, but I haven't heard anything recently.
Okay. Okay. Enabled Shaver wants to know, who is your childhood hero idol, and would you create a soap set themed after them? And please tell me it's somebody from the old WWF. That was me saying that. Okay.
My childhood hero was somebody my dad referred to as one of his friends. Anybody who's spent time chatting with me about wrestling knows that before I was born, my dad lived down in Florida, and being that he was a nurse and he was working down there on his free time, helping out with one of the territory things down there, he became very friendly with Dusty Rhodes.
Oh,
Nice.
senior.
So when senior, not Dustin, Dusty, as
Yeah.
in, but he never referred to him as Dusty when he was talking about him when I was a kid. It was always Virgil.
Yeah.
Because that's Dusty's first name. His name isn't Dusty Rhodes. His name is Virgil Runnels.
Mhm.
But when I was a kid in the '80s, my dad would say, "Hey, look, there's my buddy on TV," and I would cheer and shout for him. So yes, one of these days I will have to come up with a black and yellow polka dotted set.
Oh man, that is awesome. That is
Where right now with the current WWE storyline, which I'm missing for you guys.
Sorry.
Sorry.
So, no, SmackDown started a half hour ago. I'll have to watch it later tomorrow on Hulu. But the current WWE storyline going into WrestleMania, beginning in April, is actually involving Cody Rhodes.
Oh.
And he's going to fight for the championship.
Wow.
So I've been very invested in that and rooting him on.
See, I grew up with like the like Macho Man, Hulk Hogan, Jimmy Superfly Snuka, Ricky the Dragon Boat, those guys.
Jake the Snake.
Jake the Snake Roberts, Boss Man.
Oh, Jake the Snake.
Yeah.
Hey,
yeah, that was
Scott. What's going on SmackDown?
I know, like
Scott said
updates.
no. Scott said I'm watching for you, Chris. Don't give me any updates. No spoilers. I'll watch it later.
No spoilers.
But yeah, no. Back in the '80s, I watched it with my dad, and then life took its turns, and my dad and I didn't see each other for a bit at the end of the '80s and for the '90s. And when we got into the mid '90s, I started watching it again with some friends, and things were very different then. And the Attitude Era was starting, and you had Stone Cold and The Rock, and that was a very exciting time.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I was big into wrestling at that point, and yeah, kind of fell out of favor with it. Not really favor, just it's not something I don't really watch anymore. Should get back into it though. I always did enjoy watching wrestling. It was the thing my grandfather and I used to do every Saturday when I was a kid because he was big into wrestling. So should get back into it.
Yeah. I'm the dork that the TV that's behind me. I'm plopped on this little futon here, away from the family, so they don't have to get tortured by it. And every Monday and Friday night, I watch my little wrestling. And the once every 6 weeks, they do they're now a premium live event because they're no longer a pay-per-view.
Oh.
Well, if you pay for the Peacock service through NBC, Universal, Comcast, the entire WWE network is on there, and you get all the pay-per-views as part of that subscription.
Right.
So $5 a month instead of $60 a pay-per-view, it makes life a whole lot easier.
No, true.
Nice.
100%. Any more audience questions before I have another one there, Angelo, ready to go if there's nothing else from the
who just said Macho Man says the shaving cream rises to the top?
I don't know. I missed it.
It disappeared. It was there, but it disappeared off the bottom of my screen real quick.
I'll have to give you the forehead, boy. See if I can find it.
You can find it. Meticulous Shaver asked, when will we see a resurrection of, I'm going to butcher this, but Fuele Orange?
Oh, you mean the soap you asked me to make you a jar of 2 days ago? You said
was that me?
That was no. You said that was the Meticulous Shaver that asked, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He asked me in text message like 2 days ago to make him a jar.
Did you find it, J-Mac?
Yeah, it was the enabled shaver. He asked. He said that the shaving cream rises to the top. All right. So, looking back on your career as the helmsman of Catie's Bubbles, is there anything you would have done differently from the get-go if you had to go back and start all over again, or are you happy with with the way things have progressed and where you at, or where you're at this point?
Well, I've purposely kept things small. The area I live in, New Jersey, is ridiculously expensive to live in, so it's not like I can just go out and get myself a commercial location. So I've kept it to the point where it's just myself and my wife can manage the workload. And God forbid something with the kids happens and I have to drop everything at the drop of a hat and run out the door, I can. So would I change anything? Sure, I'd like to be a millionaire, but you know what? I purposely kept things the way that they are just so that I could keep life simple enough to be flexible for God knows whatever needed to happen. If I would have done things differently, I would have moved out of New Jersey a long time ago, but then again, that would have impacted one of my kids at the least, because New Jersey is the best place to live if you have a child with any developmental needs.
Ooh, there you go. What's and family first, right? So 100%. So
being able to put that balance too, and to scale that, yes, well done, sir. Well done.
100%.
One question that I had too was, is there any, like, I'll say favorite scent or products that's not yours that you like to use?
I still really enjoy the old white label Bear Stearns Man stuff. That formula works great for my skin type. Granted, it's a little bit biased because when we talk to each other, she calls me big bro, I call her little sis. But I still love using the stuff that Sammy put out through the Mickey Lee Soapworks brand. Another one that I may have a bias because I taught him what he knows. I really enjoy using the stuff from Talbot.
Nice.
Yeah. I want to say we had a Mickey Lee's that was given to us from somebody.
I used it. I used it the other day. I still have a Mickey Lee reunion that I use very sparingly because it is a gorgeous vetiver, and I do not want it to run out because it's just so good.
Yeah, I love.
I think I have about 10 or 11 jars left, so I'm okay for a little bit.
You're good for a bit for sure. And I mean, and that base is holding up great too. Like, I mean, it still performs great even in lieu of today's bases. And I've had that soap for I don't even know how many years I've had it now, and it's and I'm a dirty tub loader. I'm one of those guys that takes the brush and swirls it in the tub, and I don't even dry it out. I just put it back on and throw it away, and that soap is perfect. So
yeah, I'm trying to remember when they moved to Florida and closed down shop. But it's got to be at least 4 or 5 years now that she hasn't been making soap.
Shit, has it been that long?
They moved down there before the world went crazy.
True, yeah. Yeah, God.
Lee Nunez said he says he would kill for a Swedish fish soap. I don't think that's ever been done. And Swedish fish, if nobody knows, that's one of Jason's most favorite candies.
There's a reason why he said that. Whenever I send out a shipment direct from me, there's always a Swedish fish for every product in the box that goes out with it. So if you bought 2 soaps, when you open it up, you're gonna find 2 Swedish fish in there as well.
Nice.
Awesome. And I've been doing that for 8 or 9 years now.
I love me some Swedish fish.
Yeah, they're yummy. They're good. They're good times. That would be an awesome soap.
I don't know what kind of fish they are in Sweden, but they're.
But that's also not an original idea of his. Josh Beneda tried to get me to make one like 6 or 7 years ago.
Oh yeah. Now, we're all in my house. We're all me, Crystal. Well, actually, we got into wet shaving because of her. She was the one that sought it out before I did, and then we just both jumped into the rabbit hole together. But both our daughters wet shave. So, does your whole household wet shave as well, or is it just you?
It's primarily just me. My wife is lucky that she's got to shave like once every 5-6 months. Um, Catie is scared of um, the blade and whatnot, so she uses one of those ones from the store that's got the big soap cake caked around the blades.
Yeah.
Yeah, I screwed up when Christopher was a little kid, and he turned his head. You know how little boys like to be in there with dad and get lathered up. Well, he turned his head while I was lathering him up, and he got lather up the nose, and he's never come near it again.
Oh. Yeah, we our girls, they are 17 and 12, and they use leaf with the pivoting head. They use that, and then usually they only load one blade on the very top, which is the mildest.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what they use for their legs and armpits. So
What's funny?
Yeah, the once every blue moon that my wife has to shave, she'll steal my Colonial General,
Oh, nice.
which is their old aluminum single edge razor that takes the Feather Artist Club blades.
Okay.
But it's very, very mild, and I've got a titanium handle on it, so it's light and it's nimble, and she'll use that. But her hair grows so slowly, as I said, she has to shave her legs like once every 5-6 months, so it's not like she shaves often.
Yeah, it's a daily thing at our house.
Whereas Catie, she goes more than 2 days without shaving, and I pick on her that she's got Chewbacca in a headlock.
Yes. That's so awesome. Yeah, I think most of it too is because they just want to use all the fun soaps and all the scents and everything. And I definitely need to get Saturday morning, if not just for me, but also for the entire household. And that will be definitely a tub kill for sure. So
that'll be killed like in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
I warn you that there's generally a craving for cartoons after using it. At least in people in my generation, because that was the thing. The reason it's called Saturday morning is Saturday mornings we'd sit down to watch Tom and Jerry with a bowl of Fruit Loops.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, 100%.
Yep. Yeah, Tom and Jerry, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, G.I. Joe, He-Man. Crystal said Power Rangers. That's her era. That was after me. And wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
And the wrestling.
Right. Let me check, see if I have anybody else that I want to miss. PBS Live. He said for me to smell. Again, I don't know because my Latino may not massacre these names. J-Mac, you might have to help me here.
Oh, all right. Forehead engaged. Odete.
I'm not seeing the questions over here, but sorry.
Odete is how you pronounce that. So tea.
Tea water.
Tea water.
Tea water. I don't know if he has it.
It's on the label as Odete, but yeah, that's a nice semi-aquatic with a tea base to it.
Ooh, yep. Nope, he said it's sold out. Put it on the list. On the list. Yep. Steve Mendo, anything new on the horizon? I know we're talking about that. Dougie wants to know, Douglas Embray, what is your favorite unique Catie's bubble scent?
Oh, good question.
My favorite unique Catie's bubble scent.
Mm-hmm.
It's just going to go back to the one that I've used most over the years, which is probably Tonsorial Parlour. Granted, it's a barbershop, but it's a barbershop unlike what anybody else puts out there. It's a very sharp, abrasive initial hit of citrus. You've got your necessary dose of lavender and geranium in there, the oak moss underneath.
It really is hard to beat a good barbershop. I love barbershops.
Yeah, same.
But instead of it being a dupe of Clubman or Reeve Gauche, or instead of calling it a dupe of Reeve Gauche, you call it a dupe of Barbasol. It's its own standalone scent. I was trying to create a scent that would have inspired Pinot to make Clubman instead of trying to just recreate Clubman.
Mm.
Yeah, I like that.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Yeah.
I get that 100. Yeah, I like that. I like that angle. Yeah.
Yeah. So yet another one I'm going to need.
Your credit card's just gonna give up the will to live tonight.
Come on, tax return. God. What is the favorite aspect of being an entrepreneur?
I don't play well with others, so it's good to be your own boss.
Yes.
Great.
Perfect.
I actually I can't say I don't play well with others, but after the way things went down with Sears shutting down and me not having a job anymore in the blink of an eye, it was nice to not have to worry about somebody else being responsible for signing your paycheck.
Yeah.
So Catie's Bubbles. So that's your main. That's your only gig, is it now? Like this is what you do full time.
Yeah, it's been that way since 2013.
Okay. Oh, there you go. I didn't even know that. I always thought. I mean, I knew you're big, but I always thought this was kind of like more of a
Oh no, I'm not big. I'm definitely not doing anywhere near as much business as say Ariana and Evans or Phoenix is doing. But I do enough business to make sure that I don't have to worry about going out and getting somebody to pay me.
Excellent. Well, that's good. That's great. So you heard it here, people.
Yeah.
So.
And again, you have that work-life balance where you're not completely overran by one where the other one suffers. So that's to me, that's rich.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
to me, that's wealthy.
And when I don't feel like working one day, I do what makes me happy, and I make sure I put in the extra effort the next day. 1 a.m. last night, I was bottling aftershaves to finish up a wholesale order, which hopefully I'll get it fully finished this weekend and shipped out on Monday.
Nice. Excellent.
It's nice to be able to work when the house is quiet and nobody's around to bother you. So it's also nice to have your commute to work being a walk down the hallway from the bedroom too.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there's a lot to be said for that. Exactly.
Yeah.
A lot less stressful that way.
Yeah. I work from home, so sweatpants are life. So.
Oh no, I still wear a pair of jeans and either a t-shirt or a polo every day. I put on a shirt with buttons today because I want it to look nice for everybody.
Well, thank you.
Instead of just slumming around in a t-shirt stained with splashes of oak moss on the front of it. Because I've got quite a few of those. That stuff doesn't come out.
Yeah, we're just
fire sauce from Taco Bell's on pretty much all my shirts. So
you're gonna need a fire sauce soap.
The inside of a Taco Bell.
Oh, there you go.
Well,
the kitchen area maybe.
Yeah, where my cousin worked. Let me see here. Now, where do you see Catie's Bubbles in 5 years? Hopefully, still making.
Hopefully, still operating. Hopefully, still putting smiles on people's faces and making a chore a little less dreadful. 5 years from now, I will probably be finally looking to get out of New Jersey because then my kids will both have graduated high school, and we'll see if I relocate somewhere even a little bit warmer with a little bit more space to spread out, and I can have a full-blown shop instead of taking what should have been my dining room and completely repurposing it into a soap lab and losing my entire garage as a warehouse.
Well, we'll help get you there. I tell you that much. You got count on me. One of the people to help get you there. So, all right. So we're gonna do a giveaway. So out of well, not this one. One of these is for JMac. but so a soap of the winner's choice that we're going to do. So there's a couple that we have here.
No, then go on the website.
They're also on the website too. So kind of move off to the side. But yeah, so the way we do it is we pick Chris, we would have you pick a number 1 to 42, and then I would count and see who would be the winner, and then that winner will let me know what soap of Catie's Bubbles that's on the website, your choice, and that would be what you would win. So 1 to 42, pick a number, Chris.
I was trying to get my tablet to come back to life, but so I could actually do it as a random.
Okay.
But my tablet decided that it is currently overwhelmed because it's an old piece of junk. So let's go another step, and I have a full-blown actual computer here.
Well, that's booting up. Steve Mendel said that he wants to do a $25 gift card to Chris's online store as well.
Oh, Steve Mendel. What a legend that guy is.
Oh, but the problem with that is Chris's website does not offer gift cards.
Oh.
I never turned that feature on because I never wanted to be in a position where if something went wrong, I owed somebody.
Okay. Steve, regroup.
And to answer your question, true random number generator, 1 to 42, result is 9.
Thank you, computer.
There you go.
I'll be right back.
Chris, do you offer T-shirts? I have in the past. I don't currently have any printed. I tried to actually figure out how to do my own silk screening so that I could do it on perfume bottles a few years ago, and that was a mess.
So the winner is Peter, the shaving cyclist.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Nice. You won't even have to drive anywhere. Just go to, or you won't have to ship it. He can just go down there and pick one up from the store. That's perfect.
Ride his bike down. It's only about, I mean, it's a 4-hour drive, but for Peter, it'd probably be like 15 minutes. So, congrats, Peter.
Congrats, Peter.
All right. Heck yeah. So, Peter, when you get done here, go to the
And
website.
just so nobody thinks that I pulled anything out of anywhere.
Yeah, totally not rigged. Totally not rigged.
No, we only do that at my office show. So
I don't have access to the Rigger 3000, unfortunately. Peter, you won your choice of one soap up. You go to on the razorcompany.com, Catie's Bubbles. You can pick one soap of your choice, and that would be your winner. So, what did he say? Oh, he said the respin. Okay. I think he's going to come down anyway, so he's like me. He comes right to the store and buys. All right, so we have to pick another number, 1 to 43.
Oh, we're at 43 now? Let me update that.
Okay. He said the respin. God, Peter,
Generate
I love that.
29.
29. Oh, okay. It'll be a minute.
Put some work in, Angelo.
Talks amongst yourselves.
Is he verklempt? I take it J-Mac never watched old school Saturday Night Live.
I did. I don't remember a lot of Saturday Night Live back in the day.
There was this whole skit with Mike Myers where he played an old Jewish woman and,
yes.
talks amongst yourselves, I'm verklempt.
Right.
Mark 2010. Mark Kenny.
Nice. Congrats, Mark.
Mark.
Ooh.
Mark's a good dude.
Go Mark.
Mark Kenny.
Mark Kenny.
Good to
Comment
hear.
below.
Mark below. Comment, Mark. See what you want here. Oh, there he is. Hi. Okay, cool. All right, Mark. So yep. So after the show, go on the Razor Company, pick out a soap, and you want to message me at Angelo.Amador Jr. on Instagram, your email and shipping address if Jason doesn't already have it, but send it to me anyway, and the soap of your choice. And we will send that, Jason will send that to you promptly. So Yeah, congratulations. Heck yeah. I don't know if this one may still be available because this one's nice. But I'm going to try really hard not to walk out with this one. This is Jason's private stash. So
Just take it when he's not looking. You're watching like a hawk right now.
he is. And then, like I said, J-Mac, this one's coming for you, brother. Don't worry about it.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that.
You will like this. I swear, because we have the same taste. Heck yes. Heck yes. I mean,
Now I feel really bad with taking that last spice splash.
that's all right. There'll be more.
What, the reserve spice?
Yeah,
Yes.
I got the
It's a good
last one at the Razor Company, and then Angelo picked up the soap like a couple days after I purchased the last splash, and then we did a spotlight with Barrister, man. We were talking about spice, and he's like, "Oh, I gotta get the soap," and he got it, and then he's like, "Oh, but there's no splash," and then he's like, "Wait a minute, you got the last one." Guilty.
Okay, I got 2 ones left because I don't want to keep you too long. I hate for you to have to miss the show.
full hour of it. I'm not going to pick it up halfway through.
Okay.
I'd rather start from the beginning and let the storylines for the night play out.
Keep it simple shaving. Local brother here, Oscar. What are the ups and downs of running your own business company? Running your own business.
You can read all about that online. You've got no parachute. Something goes wrong, you've got nobody to delegate it to. So there's lots of downsides, but there's also lots of upsides, and you have to find a balance for it. We also talked about some of those upsides. The commute is great. I don't have a jerk boss breathing down my neck. I don't have to worry about somebody else signing my paycheck. The downside of that is that for some reason there's a sales slump. There is no paycheck to back it up.
Right.
Yeah, because you're it, you know. Yeah.
And granted, you actually only wear one physical hat, but your shipping, production, marketing, webmaster, IT tech, and chief cook and bottle washer all wrapped up together.
Yeah. Well, you do a fine job doing it, sir.
Yeah, you just got you have to be flexible, and it's definitely not for everybody. You have to be good at managing stress when things become stressful, and when you have a chance to relax, you have to know when it's time to say, okay, that's enough, and it's time to get back to work.
Yeah.
All right, so Steve Mendel wants to do $25. He said he's going to work out the logistics, how he's going to do it. So to pick another number, 1 to 37 for Steve Mendel. And then whoever wins.
1 through 37,
Yep.
7.
7? Oh, thank you, computer. I like this computer.
That's beautiful.
It's just random.org on my Surface here. Is Tooted Mango coming back? That's a summer scent. Talk to me around Memorial Day. Same thing with grape soda. Although, actually, Carm asked for some knee-high to a grape, so once I label those up for him, I think I might have 2 jars left to throw up on my site.
Nice.
Now, this is awesome. And J-Mac, you're going to know why. V the Rex.
The legend.
Legend.
Is V the Rex actually listening in like while he's holding his phone tonight, or is he listening in while doing
V
something
the
else?
Rex comments that guy just got engaged. Well, congratulations.
Ooh, congrats.
Well, knowing how quick he comments what he's up to right now.
Yeah, congratulations, V the Rex. Oh man.
We got rolling teary faces from him.
That means
there he is.
That means he's not engaged in other activities at the moment. He's actually watching.
He said he's at work, but he's here.
There you go. Yeah, he was at work during the Canadian Mafia show too.
Yeah, he was
at work.
He was punched in. So V the Rex contacts Steve Mendel, and he said he's going to work it out between you two. Congratulations, man, and congratulations again on the engagement. Yeah. Yes.
Will be later. Head up, boy.
There you go.
Go.
Way she goes, but
Way she goes, bud. Excellent. Congrats to our winners this evening. Amazing.
yes, congrats to everybody. All right. Yeah. Okay, we're pushing towards 9 o'clock. All right. Well, this has been amazing, Chris. And like I said, wow, definitely an honor. And yeah,
I'll repeat what I said earlier. I'm just a jerk from Jersey. I'm happy to be here to talk to people. And you guys are doing me a solid by putting my face in front of people and torturing them with that, and helping us get a little bit of buzz.
Well, we love to do it. Like Angela and I have been having a ton of fun doing these, and you know, it's something that's really beneficial for the community. I think is getting the community involved with the artisans that are involved with the community, and just reinforcing those relationships, right? So thank you so much for coming on this night. This has been a blast. I mean, hell, I've learned a bunch of stuff tonight that either I forgot, or because I'm an idiot, or I just didn't know in the first place. So thank you so much.
Yeah. Not a problem. Oh, and I don't know if it was you or Jason that I was messaging with on the TRC account, but you still owe me tacos and margaritas for canceling on Cinco de Mayo. I was supposed to be on with you guys on May 5th, and my original joke was, "Oh, great, we can have tacos and margaritas and talk soap." And then he said something came up, and he asked me if I could come on tonight, and I said I was disappointed. And he's like, "Why?" I said, "We were supposed to have tacos and margaritas."
Yeah, that was Jason, because I'm always down for tacos and margaritas. So
that's your legal middle name, isn't it?
Pretty sure.
Yeah. Thought so.
But yeah, I can't wait to see you in person, Chris, at the meetup. So when you feel like somebody come up and brush you at your kneecaps, that's me.
Or it could have been Charcalis. I'll just have that would be mid calf, wouldn't it?
Yeah, probably. Both your legs will be, yeah. But I can't wait. It's gonna be so much fun, and I don't know if there's any places that are around there that has good tacos. It's been 2 years since we took a drive.
I don't know if they're still open, but it used to be right next door to Maggard's was a place called Grasshoppers that did Mexican food.
Really?
Yeah,
well,
but I haven't been there since 2019 because we haven't had a meetup since then, so I don't know what's there.
Yeah. Yeah.
All I know is that I don't go to the brick wall after the mustard incident.
Oh. I don't know. Well, yeah, horchata, yeah. Well, appreciate it. Thank you, Chris. One thing I do have to ask, just because, in honor of my friends and stuff, but if you get a chance tonight, give your son a big hug for me, okay?
Will do. He had a rough day, so yeah, he could use another hug or two.
Well, just big hug, okay? And yeah, thanks everybody. Thank you all, guys. J-Mac, love you, hermano. This is
love you too, brother.
Coming to you soon, so keep an eye on your box. And everybody, thank you for coming. The winners, appreciate everybody. And Chris, keep doing what you do, and hope to see you soon, brother.
Thank you, guys. I'll see you soon, Angelo. And J-Mac, if my hands are free next time the Mafia goes live, I'll heckle you then.
Sounds good, my brother. Appreciate it.
Catch you later.
All right.
Thank you.